Hi, fermentation is the central process in any bioprocess industry. The microorganisms should grow in their optimal conditions to give the desired products. The fermentation, the production phase is actually occur in an equipment called fermenter. In the following sessions, we are going to talk about parts of a fermenter, its function, its control, and everything. So we can actually begin with the definition of a fermenter. Fermenter, a basic function of a fermenter is to provide a controlled environment for the growth of microorganism and other cells to obtain desired product. Okay, that's what a fermenter actually do. Fermenter provide controlled environment. What's a controlled environment? Controlled environment in the sense the control in the pH, control in the temperature, control in the foam, controlling the air, controlling the sterile environment. So we are controlling every environmental aspects for the microbial growth to obtain desired product. So fermentation is basically to get products. So the fermenter is the equipment which actually control the environmental conditions to optimize the microbial growth and getting the desired product. Okay, that's what a fermenter do. And almost all type of fermenters should be sterilizable. We should have a sterile condition. So the most common method used for sterilization is the steam sterilization. So the fermenter should withstand steam sterilization procedure. And ferment is little bit different from the bioreactor. As in the beginning of the discussion of bioprocess technology, we said that the bioprocess technology and the fermentation technology is related but different. Bioprocess technology is the bigger umbrella, and fermentation is a subgroup. Same thing applies to the bioreactor and the fermenter. Bioreactor can be used for any bioprocess, including the one with the living microorganism or its components. Okay, and some bioreactors used for the growth of microorganism, like in some bioreactors can be used for the growth and product formation. Such type of bioreactors is called fermenter. So when we say it's a fermenter, that means the growth of microorganism will occur there. Okay, and they are producing product by growing with the presence of living microorganism. But some other bioreactors may not use the living cells. It may be used the enzymes, or it may be used the dead immobilized cells. So bioreactor is the big umbrella, and one type of bioreactor is called a fermenter. In fermenter, there will be a growth of microorganism. Microorganism will grow there. Living microorganism will be there. So that's the difference and relation. And what are the basic functions of a fermenter? A fermenter should provide following should do following functions. First one is aseptic operation. What's aseptic operation? The microorganism should be protected from the surrounding other contaminating microorganisms. So a fermenter should be able to provide aseptic condition, sterile condition inside the fermenter. So during the time of fermentation, the no foreign microorganism should be come in contact with the culture medium. So it should provide, it should have the provisions for the aseptic operation. Second one is containment regulation. So containment regulation is like the microorganism inside, some microorganism present inside the fermenter should not come out. Okay, so aseptic operations means the microorganism living in the outside world should not go into the fermenter. Okay, containment means the microorganisms living inside the fermenter should not come out and leads to the infection of the individuals or the environmental degradation. So a fermenter should be able to have the uh, should maintain aseptic operation as well as maintain the containment regulation. Okay, next function is to provide adequate aeration and agitation. Aeration is the process of giving the air, giving the oxygen for the microorganism. Agitation is the mixing, and there should be a fermenter should be able to provide adequate aeration and agitation for the microorganism. Then lowest possible power consumption. Industry always look for economical process, so a good fermenter should be able to reduce the power consumption. And there should be provisions for the temperature and pH control. For getting desired product in enough quantity, there should be a regulation of temperature as well as the pH. So a fermenter should do that. Then there should be sampling facilities. uh, when we are running a fermentation, in order to make sure that the fermentation is going in right direction, we may need to take samples uh, every now and then to make sure that fermentation is going fine. and if there is any changes in the fermenter, we should know. So maybe they will be taking samples in regular intervals. So there should be, in a fermenter should have the sampling facilities which support the aseptic operation of the fermenter. So there should be sampling facilities for taking samples in regular intervals, and the sampling facility should maintain the sterility. Then less evaporation loss. In the most of the fermentations are happens in higher temperature like 40, 50 and 60 degrees Celsius. So in those cases there's a chance of evaporation and reducing the volume of the fermenter medium. So a good fermenter should be able to prevent that. And another facility we are looking for is automation. So nowadays the more and more automatically functioning fermenters are coming up, so that will reduce the human labor required for maintenance, operation, harvesting, cleaning, and so everything will be automated. It will be able to control the pH by itself, control the temperature by itself. It can detect the foam and do the things. So automation is good for fermenters. Then suitability for a range of process. Some fermenters are super specialized. It can be used for only one type of products, but a ideal fermenter should have the flexibility of using it for the different types of bioprocess. Another thing we want is a smooth internal surface so that the cleaning and everything will be easy. And similar geometry with the pilot reactor. When we are first starting a fermentation, we will start from the laboratory scale. Then we'll go to the pilot scale and finally into the large scale, industrial scale fermentation. So if the geometry of the pilot scale reactor and the industrial scale reactor is same, it is easy to scale up. The parameters can be adjusted easily. So that's a desirable feature. And finally, it should be cheap. It should be economical. Most of the fermenters are made up of stainless steel, so it used to be very expensive. So we want fermenters to be cheap and easy maintenance and service, just like any other devices or the equipment. We want easy maintenance and services. These are the basic functions of a fermenter, or the ideal characters of a fermenter. In order to maintain a fermenter in an industry, a fermenter itself cannot do many things. So there should be a lot of supporting services to the fermenter to function properly. So these are the service provisions required for the functioning of an industrial scale fermenter in a industry. First thing is the facility to supply of steam. A fermenter cannot make the steam by itself, so the facility, the industry should have the facility to supply steam in high pressure for the sterilization and everything. Sometimes we need in low pressure steam for other purposes. Then continuous electricity and standby generators. So most of the agitation, aeration and sampling and everything, detecting and everything is working with the electrical equipment. So we need continuous electricity, and we cannot stop the fermentation in between. So the generator should be there, otherwise the productivity will lose. Then another thing is storage facilities for the media components. Sometimes we used to store huge amount of media components like carbon source, nitrogen source and everything. So storage facilities would be good. Then provisions for compressed as well as sterile compressed air, which is used for the aeration. So we should have the supply of air or oxygen for microorganism. Then provisions for chilled, cold and hot water, which is used in many stages like media preparation, cleaning, then downstream processing and everything. And a industry should have control and monitoring equipments for fermenters. And a fermenter will have a lot of sensors like temperature sensor, pH sensor, like foam sensor. So the controlling and monitoring equipments are very much essential to control the fermentation. Then provision for instrument maintenance facilities. Then facilities for extraction and recovery uh, equipment. So it should have the whole array of equipments for the downstream processing. Then only we will be able to separate our products from the bulk. Then appropriate containment facilities. In order to prevent the leakage of microorganism from the industry, they should have the containment facilities. And facilities for appropriate effluent treatment. The waste product from the fermenter should be treated well before releasing into the environment. And a well equipped workshop will be good for any industry, and all industry will have a workshop. So bioprocess industry is not that different. So this is how a industrial, maybe a pilot scale reactor look like. You can see this one is the reactor. and here we have so many tubings and everything controlling things. Here in the top you can see so many things are here. These solar, most of them are for the our sensors. They are sensing different parameters and sending into a control unit, and this control unit actually control the fermentation, maybe control the temperature, controlling the pH, controlling the like sampling and everything. So this is a representative figure. This is the diagram. It is the most simplest form of diagram I could find. When we say fermenter, a typical fermenter is actually we draw in a form of CSTR. CSTR as continuous stirrer tank reactor. So the most of time we use it as the model for all other type of fermenters. As we know, there are different types of fermenters are there, but this is the pretty standard one, CSTR. It is the simplest form of diagram. So let me tell its different parts. Here in the middle we have a shaft, and here impellers are attached into this shaft. This is for to provide the agitation. So on top of this we have a motor, and it will helps to mix the components of the media. Then here is a stirrer shaft seal. This seal is particularly important because it will allow the entry of the shaft into the fermenter, but it prevents the entry of microorganism and air into the fermenter. So it's a special type of seal, and we will study the details of the seal. Then there is an inoculum port, aseptic inoculum port. But through this port, we are actually pumping the inoculum into the fermenter. So inoculum will come this way. Then the total height of the fermenter is represented here, and we cannot actually fill the bioreactor completely. We have a working level, that's here, the L. So this is the working volume of the reactor. We can only fill this much. Then I talked about the impellers, which is used for the mixing. Then there are baffles are there, which is to prevent the vortexing. Then here is a sampling port, which will helps into the regular sampling. Then here is something called a sparger, which will provide the aeration into the fermenter. So these are the main parts of a fermenter. I would say it is super simplified figure. It is very much more complicated than it look like in this figure, or maybe like this. In this, you can see some of the additional things, but it is far from the real life, real world fermenters. So here in extra, there's a port for antifoam. Here is the motor inlet for the steam and the nutrition of inoculum point, acid base to control pH, then waste gas outlet, then it's a jacket to control the temperature, probe for pH, probe for temperature, then sparger we have talked about, the harvest pipeline, then cooling jacket, oxygen probe which measure the amount of aeration, then media. So it's a bit more complicated than the previous figure. So thank you so much.